welcome to Las Vegas Advisor interview series. Today we're here with Andrew Morgan and Al Mancini. Anthony, I'm going to kick it over to you. Give it a little background.
Yeah, well, first let's say where they're from. Al Mancini is
Neon Feast, the Neon Feast app and the website, neonfeast.com. Best restaurant guide in Las Vegas. And then the Food and Loathing podcast and Food and Loathing news.
That's why I threw it to you. I knew I couldn't say it better. Andrew Morgan.
Hi, guys. Trying to keep up with Al here. I'm Andrew Morgan, happyhourvegas.com. My audience calls me the best damn happy hour guy in Vegas.
Ah, okay. Happy hours we like. All right. Well, I know I have a history with Al.
Yeah.
You know, Al and I go way back to 2011.
Yeah.
When he calls me up out of the blue, never met him before, says, I got an idea for a book. And I'm like, yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah, I know. You spoiled me. I sold my first book pitch ever, and I thought everything in my life would be easy after that.
Yeah. Well, Al was the brains behind Eating Las Vegas.
Right.
And we started that in 2011. We ended up doing 8 editions of it. You weren't involved in all of them. We'll explain that in a minute. But we met at Nora's.
Yeah.
And he gave me this idea that we would get 3 diverse food critics who had different ideas and didn't necessarily like each other.
Yeah.
And
that was key.
And we would do a book.
Yeah.
And that was Al Mancini and John Curtis and Max Jacobson.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in. I hadn't met Al before. I'd heard his name, but I've never seen him before. And here's this Mohawk dude. And I'm going, right, we're going to do that. Mm-hmm. And damn, did that work out, didn't it?
It was a hell of a project, man. We had a lot of fun with it. I think it was great. I think we caught lightning in a bottle because you have these 3 people. At the time, Las Vegas had 3 alt-weekly newspapers. We had The Weekly, we had City Life, and we had Vegas 7. And you had these 3 very different guys as the food writers for each of them. And John Curtis is just the snob. You guys know who John Curtis is. John Curtis, just the snobby guy, always wants to, explain the caviar aspect of anything. And that's where he's at, right? And Max Jacobson was the guy who could speak 12 languages and would speak to every crazy chef in their own language.
The erudite.
But it was, he liked the down and dirty stuff, but it was, foreign language stuff and weird things. And I was just the punk rock guy that kind of ended up writing food. I mean, I was still hanging out with rock stars at my day job, and I was writing about food on my, my side job. So I was kind of the guy at the time who was giving the middle finger to conventional food writers, which is what makes it so, which is what they were. Yeah. And so I thought it would be great because Vegas didn't have a single New York Times that was the guide, and we didn't have Michelin at the time, and we didn't have a lot of things. I figured if me, Max, and John could agree on 50 restaurants that everybody should try, being that diverse, that those would have to be 50 good restaurants, right? So we hashed it out. Sometimes 2 of us would want a place in and the other one would hate it. So we'd do vetoes and we'd call each other stupid in the back of the book. And we had so much fun doing it. And it never would have worked except that, if you put Max and John in a room, they would talk about what an asshole I was. You put me and Max in a room, we'd talk about what an asshole John was. You put me and John in a room, talk about what an asshole Max was. That's how we all got along. So we were my wife said we fought like brothers, but really nasty brothers who you didn't want to be sitting around at Thanksgiving,
Hilarious.
Well, they would yell at each other. They'd yell at each other. We would have planning meetings at the office here in the conference room. And I've never presided over meetings that I could not control like that one. I would be like, shut up, be quiet. And they would pay no attention to me, keep yelling at one another. Yeah. And they would argue. And then we would have, one would have a favorite restaurant, and the other would go, I hate that place. So he would get to veto that restaurant. Yeah. That was in the book. It was a great concept. It really worked.
Yeah. Some of those chefs I vetoed 15, 20 years ago still hold it against me too. To this day.
Don't take it personally. This is one of the first books you ever gave me, Anthony. When we first met, you gave me that book.
Yeah, everyone loved this book.
It was a good one.
Now, the shame of it was we only did it that way for 3 years.
Yeah.
Because Max Jacobson had a terrible accident. He got hit by a truck.
Yeah. Right? I mean, it was insane. And they had to take a part of his skull off and put it in a refrigerator so the brain I mean, it was just absolutely insane. As a matter of fact, I think you and I were at the hospital together one day to see him. And yeah, it was just atrocious. And he's doing well these days, but he never really bounced back to where he wanted to write, where he was able to write again. And I just figured me and John in a room without Max as a buffer would just be World War V. I mean, you can't put us in a room still today. Like when they invite us to the same events, they seat us at opposite ends of the table. And I mean, I love that he does what he does. Just don't sit me too close to him, you know?
Hilarious.
So when Max couldn't do it, I begged Al to stay in, but Al didn't want to do it without Max. But John did.
Yeah.
So John did another 5 editions. you know, to his credit, he worked like a dog, and they were very good because we got better at the production.
Yeah.
We made it look better, but it was never the same as having the 3 of you.
Yeah, look, John is always going to put out great lists of where you should dine in Las Vegas. Everybody should pay attention to John. But that conflict that we had, I think it really had to be that 3 ways, in order for it to work.
So where were you, Andrew, back in 2011 when we were doing this, and how did you end up in Vegas working with Al Mancini and being a happy hour guy? I mean, give us a quickie.
That's a loaded question. So first of all, I love hearing these stories because I'm a big fan of Vegas. Obviously, I live here the last 6 years. But hearing the inside, behind the scenes scoop of like the dining world, the playing world and stuff like that, to me, that's really fascinating stuff. It's like vintage Vegas, history Vegas right here on a podcast or a video. But my scoop, look, I moved here, like I said, 6 years ago from the Northeast, so New York City, Connecticut area. I was always in the enterprise world, digital marketing kind of thing. So that's kind of the only thing I know how to do besides being a drummer in a rock and roll band. But so
Get you and Andrew together.
Yeah, we gotta do some
I
songs.
saw the Fender shirt going on there. I was
yeah.
like, all right.
Wait till you hear the
outro.
The outro music with Andrew singing.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Cool. People get questions, and I can also hear the audience going, well, what was Al talking about earlier? What was his other job? What did he do before? Remember you saying you're hanging out with rock stars? You're
Oh,
like,
yeah. Well, that's Andrew,
Anyway.
though, was the rocker in his...
Actually, I kind of, like I always say, I kind of grew up backstage in this town. My father was a musician, so he played at Caesar's Palace with Tom Jones.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, going back in the day when things were still old school Vegas.
It's
But
still
I've been coming
Vegas,
back.
yeah.
It's still Vegas, right? So, but I've been coming back here for all my life. So here I am to stay, and I'm a food guy. So there's so many places to eat. Where do you choose? How do you get there, right? So that's where it's like happy hour is a great thing because you can try so many different things, bite size, better prices, and stuff like that.
Well, that's why hopefully we're going to get some good. I know we will. We'll get some good recommendations from you guys.
Yeah.
But we've been trying at LVA. Look, we've done lists of everything. We've tried to do happy hours.
Yeah.
It's so hard to stay on top of, and it's such a good way to get a piece of Vegas, right? You can get a piece of Vegas.
That's exactly it. And it's any city you go to, right? Like I'm a big happy hour fan for that reason. To me, it's not about just getting cheap drinks after work. It's about trying new restaurants, new places, new faces, and new experiences. And happy hour enables you to do that. And you're not breaking the bank, so it's an easy, accessible thing.
Well, here's the thing. They're now working with us. All right. So Al comes back to me after. We stay in touch.
Yeah, we see each other at parties occasionally, and
the low-level parties that I get invited to. What'd you say? You just got invited to Carbone?
Well, Carbone Riviera, they were pouring Louis the 13th there, so I don't think I've ever seen you at a Louis Trey party. But
By the way, I got invited to the chili cook-off, not to the Carbone party. Thanks, Al.
Okay, yesterday my day was a chili cook-off, a Carbone party, and a Michael Minas party at Bourbon Steak. And if you don't do the chili cook-off, you don't get invited to the Carbone party, okay?
Table stakes, I guess. Okay.
I went to Roberto's.
That would be vetoed by me if you tried to get that in the book, man.
So okay, so now they're working together. Now they're. I say Al came to us and said, let's do some stuff. Let's get together. We'll promote each other. We'll give you guys, a dining column and a happy hour column in every issue of the Advisor.
Yeah.
Put it up on the website. We've done it now for 2 issues straight. I love it. And,
It's been fun, yeah.
So you can check out your work there.
It's great to get back in front of your audience. I mean, I feel like you have an audience that really appreciates Vegas. I don't know, your audience knows Vegas. They want to know things about Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love writing for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. I write for them and all that. But those are people who, oh yeah, maybe we'll go to Vegas one time. But your audience, like, they are Vegas people,
Really,
and I love being able to speak to them.
Yeah, you know what the demographics of ours is that they come an average of 5.3 times a year.
Yeah.
5.3 different trips a year. So, these are people that know Vegas, but nobody can know all of Vegas.
No.
I do Vegas day in and day out, 7 days a week, and I learn something new every day.
Same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you were asking before. It's like, what are some of your favorite places? It changes all the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're gonna get into that. Before we do, though, we wouldn't. It wouldn't be cool if we didn't ask about some of the politics of being a critic.
A food writer, yes.
So
A critic, yeah.
I got a few questions. Andrew's got a few questions. I'm going to start. Everybody wants to know: do you eat free?
I eat a lot for free. First of all, you get invited to parties. Of course, you eat for free. You go to a restaurant on your own, and they send out food for free, whether you want it. To be honest, first world problems or 1%er problems, it can make it really rough when you want to go to your favorite restaurant, sit at the bar, just have one appetizer, and you can't order that one appetizer because the chef sends out 15 different things, and you got to take a picture of them because they sent it out. You got to put it on the internet, and that's all just part of the game, and it's a lot of fun. When I was with Las Vegas City Life, my first job as a restaurant critic, and my first job writing about food, they needed a restaurant critic. I used to be a strip club reviewer. It's a whole thing, but my first job, I made a rule that anything they sent out to me for free, I would not write about. I was only going to write about things that I got paid for, that I paid for, myself. And I would say it this way. I'm like, look, a gift is a gift. You don't go public and critique a gift. If your grandmother gives you an ugly sweater for Christmas, you don't just go write a story about what a shitty sweater your grandmother gave you. You wear it and you're happy, right? So people send out free stuff. I insisted on not reviewing it. Then suddenly budgets got tighter at at newspapers, and people were more willing to let you write about things that you ate for free, and it got really a lot more mixed. And then, of course, the influencer culture came in, where they sort of expect to eat for free everywhere, and
all do, right?
a lot of them want to get paid to eat there. So at least I'm not asking for money,
Yeah.
But so the world has changed a lot. The whole whether you can be objective when you dine for free thing. I don't think that we're as worried about it now, because we live in this world where media is not, you're not the New York Times. You're not the only voice on the block. There's 1,000 other voices out there. And, I don't think people worry that much about whether they're getting a free meal and what they're saying about it. My problem is I just never liked to be just really nasty for the sake of being nasty, right? And that's the easiest way to get clicks and to get likes and to get people laughing at you, is just to be a dick for the purpose of being a dick. That's why I brought John Curtis into the book, because I know he would do that, right? But that was never my thing.
Yeah.
So, but Andrew, he's the OG, man. He's the OG. How about you? I mean,
I'm learning everything from him, right?
But you're new into town. I mean, do they ply you with the free stuff? Or,
So first of all, I don't consider myself a critic. That's not what I set out to do. I'm a directory. I want to make sure people find the right happy hours, right? And there's a ton of them out there. What I will do is tell you what I like. I won't necessarily tell you what I don't like, but it's, I do get a lot of perks.
So are you saying you don't advertise things if you don't like it?
Advertising, not the right word. I just don't mention it.
You don't mention it, yeah.
Exactly.
And that's really where I've gotten at this point in my career, right? Because I started off as a critic, never really liked, the critic part of it, because it gets a little boring after a while. I mean, all you're really doing is trying to come up with new ways to say delicious, right? Like after a certain amount of time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
And I don't believe my opinion matters all that much. I'm a journalist by trade. I covered rock and roll. I hung out with famous people. I was the first guy on the air when Woodstock 99 broke into a riot. I mean, I covered real news. So I want to tell people about the food and have them decide for themselves whether they're going to like it. Now,
by the way, that's the lawyer in you speaking. Yeah, law school graduate. Right
That's
here.
right.
So
That's
very
right.
objective.
well, no, but not always, because some lawyers, they're advocates. And John, again, another, and I don't want to talk all about John, but he's an advocate. If he decides if he likes it, he's going to tell you why it's fantastic. And if he doesn't like it, he's going to tell you why it sucks. I'm going to try to go, hey, maybe you like it, maybe you won't like it. Here's what you might, But when I left the Review Journal 5 years ago, I figured this would probably be my last food writing thing. Like, I'm going to take another 5 or 10 years to write about food. And that's why I started Neon Feast, where all we do is tell you about great restaurants. And this is me calling up chefs. It's calling up restaurant owners. It's calling up other journalists I respect and saying, what are your favorite steakhouses? What are your favorite date night places? So we only tell you the good on Neon Feast. And that's how I wanted to go out as a food writer, right? Like whatever my next job is, I want to leave the world with me just cheerleading for the good restaurants in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. So you're sort of talking about the wisdom of crowds, right? When on Neon Feast, but not like Yelp.
Yes.
Yelp is all about what the public likes as a whole. So they're going to lean toward, McDonald's, you know what I mean? And things like that. But you're talking to people who are in the industry So somewhat it is a collective wisdom, but not quite the same.
Yeah, America seems to have forgotten that some people know more about topics than other people. Like everybody thinks they're an expert on every single thing, and Yelp has turned it into that. Like, hey, I'm a Yelp leader and I've eaten at this many restaurants. And I'm like, okay, but do you even know what those ingredients are? Do you even know where they come from? Are you giving an informed decision? Of course you don't need to know that in order to have an opinion. But if I'm going to send people to a restaurant based on the advice of somebody else, I want that person to be somebody that I would take their advice personally. So if they're a chef in a Michelin-starred restaurant and they tell me something, or if it's Colin Fukunaga who founded Burger Bar tells me about a tiny little burger place, I'm going to be like, okay, that's something I'm recommending, you know? So I call Neon Feast Yelp without the assholes. Like there's nobody there trying to get a cheap laugh and insult something.
What did Anthony Bourdain say about elite Yelpers? It's like writing on the bathroom wall or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's the value, right? You know,
Yeah.
so.
All right, so we just heard a bit from Al. Andrew, what is your model? How do you get people to Happy Hour Vegas?
HappyHourVegas.com, just, it started as a simple directory model, right? So just making sure that we have all happy hours indexed within this single website, make it easy for people to find us. So just sharing and getting the information out there of all the happy hours. We built in, okay, now we have menus, now we have hours, now we have, it's now 478 happy hours across the valley that we're tracking and updating
incredible.
all the time. So it's a lot of information there. We update it as often as we can. 478 is a hard thing to track on a regular basis, but I think we do better than anyone else.
478?
478 happy hours.
And you probably don't have them all? No way.
No.
I mean, you can't have every bar and every single thing, but
And it includes multi-location. So there's Chili's. There's like a dozen Chili's, Red Lobsters and stuff like that. I don't really necessarily cover that, but they're in the directory because people like it. So why not, right? But yeah, there's a lot going on in the happy hour world. The model is really just making sure the information is accurate and out there and getting people to come to the site.
how much reviewing?
Not a lot of review. If you look in the actual listings themselves of a particular restaurant, we'll have our little editorial in there that says, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I have a newsletter that goes in every week, so what's new, et cetera, et cetera. And they, I'll have a little bit more editorial in there. But
Did you ever think about opening it up to the public in that fashion, or does that open a can of worms?
You know what? In my world, it just opens a can of worms. I just want to make it just very black and white. Here's the restaurant. Here's the happy hour. Here's the hours. Here's the menu. Here's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
You go.
And you can kind of do that because the same thing in LVA. Sometimes we will review a happy hour we really like, but mostly we just list this one looks good.
Yeah.
Like when we found the one at Lotus. I've never seen a happy hour at Lotus. This looks darn good.
Yeah,
And then we did go and review that, and it was darn good.
and really, I mean, at the end of the day, what are people looking for when they're looking for a happy hour? They're looking for location. They're looking for menu. They're looking for price.
Bargain, yeah, for
They're
sure.
looking for a deal, and that's the LVA audience. When they look for happy hours, I'm sure they're looking for the deal, and that's
You
what we
list
want to.
booze and food.
Yeah, exactly.
Both. Drink
that's,
specials.
and we'll sit there and say, hey, you're going to get this for $5. You're going to get this $3. Your total spend is $20. You're going to be full and happy.
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
Andrew comes on the podcast every week and does a happy hour report on my Food and Loathing podcast that I do with Gemini Stevens, by the way. Hi, Gem. But Andrew comes on every week and he'll say, oh, here are some great happy hours in downtown Summerlin. Here are some great happy hours here. And sometimes he'll just go through it and he'll be like, so you can have these 2 bites and 2 drinks and it'll be $20. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't believe that. When you add up, and I never thought you'd be able to do it. You came up to me at an event one time and said, I'm working on this idea. And I rolled my eyes. Like nobody was ever going to be able to catalog all this information. And God bless you, man. You did it.
Thank you. And that was Pizza Fest, by the way, a couple of years ago. I'm like, hey, who's that dude on the microphone up there? I got to talk to him. And here we are a couple of years later.
And we'll have links in the description boxes to your podcasts and everything else, so
Yeah.
people can check in on you guys and get the info.
Well, Anthony, you touched on something really smart. At least for me, when I look at a happy hour, I say the first question: does it have food and drinks? Is it happy hour food and happy hour drinks? Because that I like both.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, I'm hoping to help the restaurants support the local community, the business and stuff like that, helping the consumer trying to find something that's really good. But at the same time, it's just like, hey, let's have some fun with it. And I do get some free food.
It's something.
So
it's something
I
we
work for
needed.
food.
Yeah, it's definitely something we needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so much for the background. Let's get to what everybody wants. What do we want to know about, Andrew?
We want to know, what do you guys like? What do you recommend? What are the top 5s?
Yeah. Well, I get asked that all the time. What's your favorite restaurant, right? And which is like just a ridiculous. I'm not in the mood for everything every day, right? Like in a real world, if I could eat pizza 3 days a week, eat sushi 3 days a week, and then have one day a week that was different, I'd be fine with that, right? So what? But what you're in the mood for, it depends. You know what? Yeah, it's hard. But what I tell people, because I've got a pat decision, my wife could roll it off like faster than I can. If money were no object, the place that I would eat the most frequently, that I would go back to at least once a month, is the Atelier de Joël Robuchon. It is Mr. Robuchon's more casual of his two restaurants. You're still going to spend a couple $100 on dinner there per person. So even at the more casual, so I cannot afford to go there once a month, but I would go and sit at the bar and dine there once a month if I could afford it. So for me, that's like the epitome of luxury meets everyday, fun. Right, so that's my favorite.
Okay, what about? All right, let's go down a little bit.
Yeah, let's get some lists.
Yeah, if you're gonna go, well, you can't really throw a list, but I mean, if you're gonna go out and somebody says to you, man, it's late night, I mean, where are we gonna go? Or let's go somewhere where the steaks are affordable. I mean, that's gonna be happy hour. We're gonna start getting into that direction there. Although I don't know any happy hour steaks unless you're talking about Herbs and Rye.
I mean, there's some great. Well, Herbs and Rye's got their thing going on. Scotch 80 Prime has a fantastic happy hour. They change it during different months of the year, but they always have really good deals at their happy hour. Steaks are interesting because there's a new steakhouse coming into the Bend. It's called Butcher and Thief. It's by the people behind Carson Kitchen. I just took a tour of the construction the other day, and their goal is to kind of match maybe the Echo and Rig ability to have a really good steakhouse that you can go to frequently, right? So I think a lot more people are doing off-strip steaks. A lot more people are doing super high-end off-strip steaks as well, like places like May Daly's, if you want to consider that on or off the strip. Scotch 80 Prime, high steaks that just opened up at Rio with Chef James Trees. But it's the bargain ones, the people that are really trying to come in at good prices. And I think that James is coming in with some really, really good prices at high steaks. I hope that they get added to Neon Feast soon. I mean, I'm partial to him, but I want to see what the chefs say. I think Butcher and Thief will be interesting. I think Echo and Rig, both locations, have fantastic deals on steaks. Cleaver has some good deals on steaks. I don't know if I'm missing anybody.
No,
How about
actually,
you?
you hit the nail on the head when it comes to happy hours. A lot of the ones that you mentioned also have happy hours. So Echo and Rig, they have. One of my favorite things about Echo and Rick in Tivoli in Summerlin, not the one in Henderson, they both have happy hours, but they're both kind of different. The one in Henderson is actually really good. It's like $5, and they change it up every day. The one in Tivoli, they have 3 things on the menu, and I've done the math. You can order the cocktail of the day, which is $3, and that's a high-end mixologist guy, making this really special cocktail. Then you can have the butcher fries with tri-tip steak in there and teriyaki. You can get the steak and egg, which is a fried egg on top of a steak with all sorts of garlic loveliness on that one. And then they also have a hot dog, butcher hot dog, which is really good. Plus, you can have a beer or a glass of wine. $20, 3 things, 2 drinks.
Oh, wow.
At
Sounds
Tivoli
good.
Village. Like, this is, and it's Echo and Rig. They're a butcher. This is like amazing quality. So
It
that's a great
used to be
example.
one of my
that one.
favorite places.
Yeah.
I used to go there all the time. And then,
Well, let's go. It's my treat then. Next time we go.
Another amazing steak, I got to throw it out there. This place has not yet made the Neon Feast list, but Bourbon Steak by Michael Mina in the Four Seasons. When you sit and ask for the bar menu in there, they have something that they call the $50 steak frites, but it's not. I think it's like $38. And it comes with their trio of duck fat fries and I believe a 10-ounce steak that is of Michael Mina quality. That is really, really good. You've got to do it at the bar, there's no specific hours for it, and it's really worth checking out.
all right, what about Italian? High end and kind of middle end and happy hour for Italian. How about you first?
Italian in Las Vegas. You know what? D'Agostino's just
D'Agostino's,
reopened. I'm super excited for them. I think they're about to be added to Neon Feast. It's a family-run restaurant. It's on the west side of town. You always see casino bosses, casino presidents, chefs in there. They're always dining. They just doubled the size of the place.
Where is that?
It is on Buffalo between Peaceway and Flamingo.
Yeah, okay.
Great happy hour. And by the way, great holiday happy hour too. So they're going to have a bottle on board, and they have these pumpkin risottos that they're making out there, and they got a new mixologist there. Little how do you explain it? Cariello, whatever it is, cocktail. I haven't had it yet, but I was invited to go in there and try it out. Pumpkin, so it's very seasonal, pretty good.
This is D'Agostino's, both of you guys?
Yeah,
Well, that's a great one.
That's a
James
great one.
Tree's restaurants you got to go to for Italian. Whether you like, if you like kind of the mob boss Italian of red sauce, he does a fantastic version of that at Al Solito Posto. If you want a more California Italian, and that's by the way in Tivoli Village.
Yeah.
If you want a more California Italian, you go down to the Arts District. You go to the original Esther's Kitchen. James Trees rules this town right now. He's probably the most successful off-strip chef, and it is all rooted in those two Italian restaurants.
Fiorella at Red Rock. That's an amazing happy hour, amazing Italian, that's for sure. So
All right,
it's also
good.
a one.
Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese is an interesting one because you know what? I come from New York City, and to me, if it's not New York style Chinese takeout, then it's not casual Chinese.
Didn't you hate it when Big Wong left?
Yeah.
Big Wong was great.
Yeah, and so few people do that real New York City style, but we have great high-end Chinese in this town, man. I mean, I love, Wing Lei, Ma 32, those places are all fantastic, but I don't really have a go-to, like, where I want to go, just for like when I just want fried rice at home. I don't really have one.
Anything around the corner on Spring Mountain, like in the Chinatown here, that you'd recommend?
I mean, yeah there are certainly a lot of places in Chinatown, but I'm not going to say what the best Chinese restaurant in Chinatown is. There's no way I'm even gonna venture out into that. I mean, I love what Spring Mountain Road has developed into, though. Now, I mean, best Japanese restaurants in town, best Chinese restaurants in town, one of the best French restaurants in town, some amazing Mexican. You've got Oscar Amador. We don't even know what he's doing with his new restaurant. Chinatown is on fire. You can't walk around it the way you can walk around the Arts District and sample things.
That's true.
And that's the only reason I think it's not really the culinary hub of Las Vegas, because it's a pain in the dick to get. Am I allowed to say that? To get from one place to another in Chinatown.
The best, the French restaurant, Partage?
Partage, yeah.
And then what about like Sparrow and Wolf? That's one of yours, right? You like
Sparrow and Wolf is one of absolutely the best restaurants in all of Las Vegas. I'm not even saying off-strip versus on-strip. When out-of-town journalists come to Las Vegas, you say you have to eat at Sparrow and Wolf. It's hard to put a finger on the style that they do there, but it was... it was the real trendsetter. Look, James Trees did a lot for this town, but none of his stuff, in the very beginning at least, was super experimental, right? And Brian Howard's always been one of the most creative chefs in Las Vegas. I never thought his creativity would work in Chinatown. It does. He knocks it out of the park. Yes, if you have not dined at Sparrow and Wolf, you really don't know what Las Vegas is capable of in off-strip dining.
Cool. Going back, is there such thing as a Chinese happy hour?
There's happy hours in Chinatown, but they're not necessarily Chinese.
Yeah.
What we have found, though, is there is a good size of Thai restaurants that have happy hour.
Okay.
So Weira Thai is great. La Thai 2, La Thai 1, and Arts District, etc. So there's some good places.
And
popping up
Lotus,
around there.
like we
and
were
Lotus,
talking.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lotus is
Cameron.
Siam. Absolutely. They just gave one too.
What about, and I guess they'll cut this out if I'm totally wrong, but doesn't Hakkasan do like a dim sum happy hour?
You're right.
In the
Hakkasan,
MGM?
MGM Grand, they have a happy hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And of course, if you want PF Chang's, they have a great happy hour too.
I love PF Chang's, by the way.
Everyone loves those chicken lettuce wraps.
Yeah.
Grab on happy hour. Why not? And there's a PF Chang's, especially if you're doing, your Black Friday shopping or something like that. Town Square, Fashion Show Mall. They're all over the place. So.
PF Chang's is the favorite restaurant of rich people who don't know a lot about food. Because they put out a quality. I mean, it's good, right? And rich people are going to like it. And for years, it was the most popular restaurant in all of Summerlin before any really good restaurants opened up in Summerlin.
I would go there as a kid in L.A. Now, what do you guys think about my favorite happy hour, Oscar's Steakhouse?
Plaza.
I'm not a huge. I had a bone to pick with Oscar's when it first opened. I interviewed Oscar about it, and he couldn't even tell me where the beef came from. Right? But they have since brought in Chef Ben Jenkins. He's a fantastic chef. He has a background with the Mina Group. I just don't get back there very often. I honestly don't. I love the view there. I love Chef Ben Jenkins, but I just don't go there.
It's a little pricey, isn't it?
It's from a happy hour perspective, it's a little high up there, but it's not terrible. Like, you want vintage Vegas, martini, steak, shrimp, cocktail,
Yeah.
like that's what they have on the happy hour menu. You're not going to go wrong. And even though it's a little higher price, it's still half the price of anything on the strip.
That's what I like about it. The martini,
No.
the shrimp cocktail, the meatballs.
And you
I'm
can
gonna-
get your parking validated if you're there.
I'm going to argue with you. I don't think it's half the price of anything off the strip. I think you go to Circus Steakhouse, you're going to get a phenomenal deal there.
No happy hour though.
No,
We're
but it
talking
doesn't
happy
matter. But their general deals in general are better than happy
Okay,
hours.
so I take that back. If you're looking
Really?
for a good steak happy hour on the strip, STK, which is the elite high end thing.
Yeah.
They have a happy hour at $7.77, $7 everything on the menu, on the food menu.
Really?
$12 cocktails, $10 wines, $7 food, including steak skewers, including
What casino
tartare.
is STK in?
Cosmo.
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 Does,
How much-
does
how much-
Carver? Does Carver have a happy hour? Carver
Carver
steak?
steak does not. Yes, they do. Same
Yeah,
as Herbs
okay.
and Rye. kind
At
of.
Resorts World, Carver Steak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? Sorry, no, I'm getting them mixed up. Carver steak
Okay.
does not have. a
Doesn't?
happy hour.
Okay.
No.
How much extra for the earplugs at STK?
Yeah. Right? The DJ booth right in the building.
When
That-
you're
I don't
there
mind
for
it.
happy hour, it's a little earlier, so it's not too bad. DJ hasn't, had his 12th martini yet. So.
All right, guys. Usually we ask everybody what their favorite restaurant or what their favorite gambling book is, but you guys are the restaurant experts, so we're going to go right into gambling books and just say, I'm going to start with Andrew. What are your favorite, if you have one, a favorite gambling books?
Or Vegas book, if you're not a gambler, I don't know.
No, actually, I love blackjack. I haven't played for a little while. I'm an aspiring blackjack, and I was here a couple of weeks ago, and this is my new favorite book.
Oh, Advantage
yeah,
Players.
I'm going through it right now. So
It's a
inspiring.
pretty good book.
It's a really good book. It's the mind of a gambler. It's just it's very different.
Yeah.
So it's really telling. But I'm excited to hit the tables.
Oh, cool. Didn't have to be one of our books, but I'm appreciative that it was.
No, it's good.
A favorite Vegas book. Look, I'm going to go so cliche. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's
cool.
just the
Yeah.
greatest Vegas book that's ever
Well,
been written.
that's all you, Mohawk.
Yeah, right. I mean, my podcast is called Food and Loathing. My news
Right.
site is called foodandloathing.vegas. So yeah, I love Fear and Loathing. You've got a poster on the wall right now. The man with the $100,000 breasts. You gave me that book probably 15 years ago, and I still laugh thinking about that book.
Yeah,
So that's
some
a
good
great.
stories in there too.
Yeah, there really are.
Several.
All right, you guys. So you got a taste here. We could talk for hours about food with Al and Andrew, but what you really got to do is go to neonfeast.com, go to happyhourvegas.com, check out Andrew's website. Go to the websites, check in with the guys, and get the good info most updated over there.
And listen to the podcast.
Yeah, and you LVA people, you can get a taste of it and a link at LasVegasAdvisor.com.
I was going to say, we're going to keep pumping content into LVA. So,
Yeah,
check it out there, too.
We're trying to work together more and more to
Yeah.
see how we integrate and incorporate into one another's things. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Great having you.
And always a pleasure.
Let's go
Thanks
eat.
for coming,
Andrew.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.